You know, everybody's talking about the NBA trade deadline and James Harden and Ben Simmons and this and that, but no. You know who really won the NBA trade deadline? The Miami Heat, because they got rid of KZ Okpala, and that is a beautiful thing. I don't know why I'm so mean to KZ on this channel. He really does seem like a nice guy. So KZ, it's nothing against you, bro. I could tell the team loves you. I could tell you're an awesome dude. The timing was just never right, man. I mean, there was moments when you stepped on the floor and it looked like you had never touched a basketball before, but that's not all your fault, bro. I know there was COVID, so you didn't have G Leagues and training camp and all that other stuff, so it's not all your fault, bro. The timing just wasn't right, so I hope it works out for you, man. So in return for KZ Okpala, we got a second round pick, and most importantly, unlocked a future first round pick because we removed some protections and things like that. So it was an absolute steal, by the way. Although overall, we still technically did lose some second round picks for KZ, because in order to get him, we traded up and we traded 3 first round picks. So we got 1 in return, so it's not as bad. But the most important thing with this trade is the flexibility that we got. It was unfortunate to see a ton of Heat fans were mad at Pat Riley and Andy because they're like, oh, Pat's asleep at the wheel as always. Some of that is jokes, which is funny, I know. But some Heat fans were serious. They're like, oh, the Nets got better, Philly got better, Boston got better because they got Derek White. He's a good player, but no reason to freak out. But y'all seem to forget the Miami Heat are the first team in the East, and they have Victor Oladipo coming back, and sometimes the best thing you can do is just stay put. This team really doesn't have a weakness other than perhaps the backup 4. I know we heard a lot of PJ Washington talk, but I like PJ, I did, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to get rid of Omer for him. And of course, if Markieff does come back, we're really straight there, but of course that situation is kind of up in the air. But back to the trade, a lot of Heat fans were really looking at it as like a small, minuscule deal, but in the reality of things, it was huge. In the long term, it gives us flexibility by not only giving us a second round pick, but also unlocking a first round pick that we could use for future trades. It's a little hard to explain, but because we removed protections on one of the picks, it kind of gives us another pick back, because you can't trade picks in back-to-back years. It's called like the Stepien rule. I don't know, something like that. If that is the name, Stepien rule, then shout out to me because I'm just off the dome here. Bing bong, yes sir, we got editor Ant here. I got the name right. Low key though, I think I said Stepien rule, not Stepien rule, but y'all get the point. It's basically what it is. I'm sure I confused you more than you were previously, but you can just look it up. Just know we have some more flexibility. And of course, what that does is because come off season, if Donovan Mitchell asks out, just a name, for example, just a name, we'd have another asset to go ahead and get him. We actually discussed this on the Heat vs. the World podcast, which I was on. Another guest appearance, my second time there. It's a super fun pod. All the boys over there are super cool. So make sure y'all check that out. I'll put that in the description below. So while that flexibility is more of a long-term move, in the short term, it opens up another roster spot, which we can use in the buyout market. Prior to that, the Heat only had 1 open roster spot, which we all knew would go to Caleb Martin when they converted his 2-way deal to a standard deal, which that actually just happened today. And of course, y'all can see by this tweet here, this gift, Caleb Martin was super happy about it. And I like showing this stuff, man, because it shows that all the guys on the team get along. Usually on some teams, you just kind of have the stars together hang out, and then the 2-way guys, developmental guys hang out. I love how I'm talking like I've been in the locker rooms. I don't know, I'm just assuming. But it's still cool to see, you know, the star players kind of get along with the guys, you know, towards the end of the roster. We even saw Jimmy Butler on his Instagram after the Charlotte game say, oh, glad to be out there with my other brothers as the first triplets in the NBA. There have been times where he was like, this team is better without Caleb Martin. So of course, if he feels comfortable enough to joke around like that, then it means this whole team is really, really close. So like I said, today the Miami Heat converted Caleb Martin to a standard deal, and because of the KZ trade, we have 1 open roster spot left. Except we did until yesterday. They re-signed Haywood Highsmith to a 10-day deal. A lot of Heat Nation was freaking out. They're like, oh, why did you sign Haywood Highsmith? Like, aren't we trying to get someone in the buyout market? Aren't we trying to get Goran? But Brian Goins brings up an excellent point. So this tweet is basically in response to somebody saying, see, the signing of Haywood Highsmith means that the Heat were never really interested in Goran Dragic to begin with. But Brian Goins replies, Dragic won't be able to clear waivers until 5 p.m. on Thursday, which is the final day of games before the All-Star break. I highly doubt he'll be playing until after. Miami needs an extra body for their next 2 games with Hero and Caleb out, and possibly Jimmy too. So just to reiterate what that means, the Heat can't actually sign Goran right now because they would have to pay the difference between what the Spurs gave him and the $19 million contract he had for this year. So in order to sign him, they have to wait until he clears waivers. He doesn't clear waivers until right before the All-Star break. So therefore, the Heat can't sign him until the All-Star break ends. So in the meantime, we need players. Hero's out tonight, Caleb's out tonight, Jimmy's questionable. So they signed Haywood Highsmith. If he needs to get some emergency minutes, he's there for the next couple games. And Haywood Highsmith's 10-day deal officially runs out February 25th, but they are allowed to terminate that contract beforehand if they need so. And of course, they would need to terminate that contract to create a roster spot for Goran Dragic, or at least I hope so, man. I'm honestly surprised to see how split like Heat Twitter is on whether they want Goran or not, because the way I look at it is, why not? Like, why wouldn't you want Goran back? And the people who don't say, oh, well, he'll never play, you know, you can't play him over Gabe Vincent and this and that, and I get you. I'm with you. At this point, I can't justify playing Goran over Gabe Vincent. And y'all know this is coming from a guy that was not a Gabe Vincent fan. But Gabe, I've apologized to you many times. You are a baller. I was wrong. So yeah, Gabe's got to get those minutes. Goran most likely would just ride the bench, except for spot minutes here or there where guys get in foul trouble or guys get hurt. But don't y'all want to see Goran holding the Larry O'Brien trophy in a Heat jersey? He's done so much for this organization. He's been here so long. He's been through so many iterations of the team, back when they had D-Wade, back when they had Dion, and now with Jimmy. So I'd really love to see all Goran's hard work and sacrifice pay off with a championship ring. That being said, I don't really think he'd want to sign here. Part of the reason he wasn't happy in Toronto is because he wasn't getting playing time. Now, yeah, he might be more happy sitting on the bench on a team and city that he loves with his friends, but he's been working out a lot in Miami, actually. But I think that's kind of him showing that he still has a lot in the tank and a lot left to give, which, I mean, I think so too. It was just 2 years ago. He was the leading scorer for us in the playoffs, and that was after a long rest prior to the bubble. And now he's kind of had a long rest again, so who's to say he doesn't come back and ball out again with fresh legs? So, of course, I'm predicting Goran wants a lot more playing time. I thought he could get that in Dallas, and obviously everybody knows he'd want to play with Luka. But they just traded Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie, so I don't know how much of a role he has there. The other teams we heard are the Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks, which, yeah, I guess he would have a role there as a backup guard. Maybe even starting on the Lakers because Westbrook has been terrible. But at the same time, Goran has spent all of his free time in Miami over the last couple months, so maybe he just wants to stay. I hope that's the case. And at the very least, we know he's friends with Jimmy Butler, so it'll make our best player happy. That's really all I want to say for this video, though. I'm actually going to the game tonight versus the Dallas Mavericks, so there won't be a recap up after the game. But if I get some good clips while I'm at the game, maybe I'll edit it into a vlog and post that sometime later this week. I don't know, it really depends if I get some good footage. I also want to say that on Sunday, I posted a video before the Super Bowl. I tried experimenting, making it my first video ever with no cuts, and I think that video sucks and the performance is showing that. But I just wanted to note it because I said I was going to shout out whoever gave the closest prediction, but I'm sorry, that was me. I said Rams would win by 3. I said 27-24, which wasn't exactly right, but still that was the final margin of victory. Chris, my boy Chris Fetter, you were close, but I think I was a little closer than you, my guy. But I appreciate all the support. If you liked the video, hit like. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and hit dislike. Tell me I suck. You know I love to hate on this channel. But as long as you subscribe, you know we at 1K subs now, so the grind to 2K continues. Maybe I'll see y'all later this week with a vlog, but who knows, because you may never see me again. Y'all will find out next video, or you won't. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
I need bigger stay, 80s lamb, ISO tank with a pain again. I escape from these famous lands when it's too much and the wheel done jam.